Okay. Let me see. 1 second. I don't know if I think we're live now. Zoom crashed. We're back up. Tom's on with us, I think. Tom?
I'm
live?
here.
Tom
I'm live.
We were talking Seth Rollins. For folks listening to the podcast, this will be seamless. There will be no issues.
Nothing happened.
Stream, here, let me retweet this out just so folks, can know we're still live and stuff like that. But Tom, Seth Rollins, we discussed this. Seth Rollins doing the crazy gear and all that jazz. It's better than Seth Rollins not doing it, but there's still nothing to sink our teeth into from why do we care that Seth Rollins is doing this, right? We don't care if he's losing. We don't care if he's winning. Why?
I like a little bit of what he's doing in the sense that he's almost like the Riddler, where he is, planting little seeds in Kevin Owens' mind and in Big E's mind of hey, I think you two guys really don't like each other. So Big E, just fight me. You know me. Fight the devil don't fight Kevin Owens, right? So I like that aspect of his character. Yes, the clothes are crazy. One thing that I'm starting to like, though, if you catch on, Becky Lynch, she's not too far behind old Seth Rollins with the weird wardrobe and crazy hairdo. So I like that it's almost these slow moving ships where I think eventually we're going to get Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins to come back together as they did when they were baby faces, but now coming back as these crazy, out of their brain heels. And so maybe that will be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to keep shitting on them forever, but WWE's got nothing for me anymore. They just don't have
it's surface
any reason
value.
to care.
Yeah, it's surface value.
All right. Well, you kind of mentioned this. At Lady Undertaker says Becky Lynch on Raw kind of reminded me of the Red Rooster. Sigh. Poor Terry Taylor. What a stupid gimmick he had. Hashtag tweet the table.
Yeah, I mean, that was stupid. But I mean, there's also worse. And I know that the Red Rooster is the go-to talking shit on bad gimmicks, right? Kind of how Judy Bagwell on a forklift was the bad part of WCW at the end, right? There was also bullshit though. Coco Beware, come on. The Repo Man, come on. You know what I mean? There was some bullshit.
The Repo Man. He's coming to take back your shit. He should have been involved with Money Inc.
I think he was for a second.
Yeah, when it,
maybe
because he's got to go steal, hey, pay your bills.
I will say the Becky Lynch presentation makes you do a double take. I was flipping through the channels. Obviously, I was watching my Holiday Baking Championship. Can't wait. Got the season premiere 2 hours in. Now we're waiting for next week. But I was flipping through commercial, and Becky made me do a double take.
Danny Adams, better known as Dan the Dad, on AEW Dark Elevation.
Well, that's on YouTube, and I was watching that before because that airs at 5 o'clock in the one true time zone. So I was watching that. Dan the Dad.
I love that they referenced he was a dad, but I don't know why they wouldn't call him Dan the Dad. Maybe they didn't want him to get over.
I don't know because Ricky Shane Page is Ricky Shane Page, and we know him as Ricky Shane Page. But every time he's wrestled in AEW, he's RSP. So I don't know. Maybe there's licensing, or I don't know. Maybe they don't want to pay, so just go by a different name. Maybe Dan the Dad has rights or something. But it is interesting. But yeah, he was Dan the Dad, right? He's doing the whole thing and all that stuff.
Well, they referenced that he looked like a dad, and they were calling him the Dad, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More of Dan the Dad in AEW. He's already friends with Orange Cassidy, breaking kayfabe, right? We've done some fun stuff with Danhausen.
The Dark Order.
Oh, Johnny Hungy and Dan the Dad.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Evil Uno and Dan the Dad.
Chris Jericho and Dan the Dad.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. We talked about a few months ago where Ring of Honor is up for sale, and one of the characters that I said, hey, there's a lot of great talent there, but the one talent I for sure want to go to AEW is Danhausen. Now, Danhausen broke his leg, unfortunately. He is cursed, so hopefully he gets well soon. But think of the fun match that they've already done on the indies that they could do on AEW television with Dan the Dad, Orange Cassidy, Danhausen. Triple threat. That's just fun.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
Just fun.
Do it.
Fun. Do the fun. All right. Last tweet. Again, can't stress this enough. Come hang out at Pro Wrestling's bar with us. Hashtag tweet the table. You have a seat at the bar, and we're going to talk about what you want to talk about, just like at Katie First Lady did here. And she says, I love that Ruby Soho is the lone woman to get in between CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Hashtag tough cookie. Hashtag tweet the table. Hey.
Well, it's so great because, again, the detail, and I think I responded to her through our Twitter account, but the details matter in AEW. It's already been established that Eddie Kingston and Ruby Soho have a history. They're kind of BFFs. They got each other's backs, regardless of if one's heel, one's face, all that stuff, so far in the short history that they've been in AEW. So if Eddie Kingston, who is losing his mind because CM Punk is that motherfucker that's done something. Well, what is it? I don't know, but look at him, right? Like, that's what the beef is all about. It's just I know you did something, you asshole. Well, what was it? Look at him. Right? So, when you see your friend losing their shit, you would go and say, like, Eddie, chill out. And, on the roster currently, traveling to town, Ruby Soho is that friend that's going to stop him from grabbing a knife and trying to stab CM Punk in the parking lot. So it's so great that it wasn't. Now, again, Dustin Rhodes was in this pull apart, and there was other just talent that was there to be there. But there were those little details of like, yeah, that would totally make sense why Ruby Soho is there. Not just, it's a woman, I got to be involved, right? It was, no. Right? Like, it wasn't Anna Jay that was breaking it up is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yep. So I loved it. That was, again, you're rewarded for watching a television show. Love you, AEW.
So that was hashtag tweet the table. We want you to join in. We don't want to just hear from these people because we love these people. We want to hear from them, but we also want to hear from you. So do that shit. Hashtag tweet the table. Do it. But Tom, what do you want to do? You just want to you want to cover AEW Dynamite, Rampage? I mean, we covered the Eddie Kingston Punk promo, but we've got Full Gear coming up, so we should probably hit what's happened kind of on these go-home shows leading into there, and then we'll make some picks.
Well, so I think we should just go right into Full Gear, and this is why. There's some of the matches, for example, you got the Jungle Boy versus Anthony Bowens. You had the Wardlow match that really don't fit into the Full Gear card, so I don't want to get off of too many topics. Again, Jungle Boy does tie in a little bit, but I want to go right into our picks, and then we could talk about, hey, did you see Dynamite, this happened to this person, that's why I'm picking that, right? I think that's a little bit more perfect, better continuity for the listener.
Sounds great.
You like
You're
this?
Good at this, Tom.
Yeah, workshopping on air. Look at that.
Hey, look, if we can crash live on air, we're going to workshop live on air.
I tell you what, you don't know us any better that we didn't even plan this. Maybe this is a work, or maybe it's a shoot. Let's get into the card.
You would think with how many technical difficulties we have that it is a work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know what? You know what I do know? We never fucking did the emails first and the news last. I fucking know that.
Yeah. Duh. By the way, if you want to email, tableshow@gmail.com.
Tableshow@gmail.com.
Long form question or thought. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, so AEW Full Gear's full card. Let's kick it off with the pre-show match. It's Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa. Tim?
Shida and Rosa win this, right? They're going to get the crowd pop, I think, because it that helps get one over on the DMD without the DMD having to lose.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa's pinning Nyla Rose to say, I'm standing in victory. I am Thunder Rosa. Britt Baker, I'm coming for everything you took away from me, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Coming to knock them teeth out, bitch.
Yeah. I'm the real fight. You took everything I worked for. That's a Nate Diaz promo. That's how he got the Conor McGregor fight. Anyhow, this is what I will say, though, about the pre-show match. Nyla Rose is still untouchable, right? You can put her on dark. She's going to win 20 matches. Let's say Britt Baker does lose to Tay Conti, which we'll get into that pick later. Nyla Rose is a good first opponent, right? However, I fear that we don't want to do that too much with Nyla Rose, where it's like, hey, well, someone has to lose. Well, Nyla Rhodes, get her, put her in this tag match. And it's like, we're doing a little bit of damage to the invisibility or invincible, monster that is Nyla Rose. So I think that's what's going to happen. But let's put some kid gloves on Nyla Rose as we move forward. All right, so next match here, we got Pac and Cody Rhodes taking on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Tim, who do you pick?
So this is a tough one because I feel like you have the opportunity. I know they're trying to build Cody and like focus on Cody, but in a tag match with some non-necessarily related players, he can lose, right? And fester more into what he's building. So I'm going to say Cody and Pac lose.
So you're taking Malachi Black and Andrade?
Yeah.
God dang it, so do I. Now, let's talk about this real quick. On Dynamite, look, I'm still Team Cody Rhodes. I really want him to be heel because that is the best version of Cody Rhodes in my opinion. But his babyface run, I'm still like, besides the thing that he did with Anthony Ogogo, where it was like, why the fuck are you talking about race relationships in an American versus England? That was a total miss. But other than that, I think he's doing good. However, Cody, you had to come from the nosebleeds to run down through the crowd to make the save on Dynamite. Like, my guy, let's just go through the ramp. It's bad enough you come through the middle and everyone else comes through these, circular entrances. Let's not be the... Because it was like, hey, they're going to cheer me if they see me, right? They want to be on TV, so it looks like they're cheering me. And I get that thought process, but don't do it from row 118. Like, fucking be down a little bit. That was anyhow.
And I'm going to shout out the chat on YouTube. Katie, the First Lady, says, before you crashed, thanks for bringing that up, Katie, says, thanks. I don't know if you saw... But I said AEW TV was great this week, and I genuinely look forward to AEW every week. I think maybe she's saying more than WWE, and that's from a lifelong WWE fan looking forward to Full Gear. And I think we've kind of talked about this where we grew up with wrestling enthralled by the stories it was telling when we were kids. I think WWE, the reason we were drawn to it, it was in front of our face, right? They hit the cable TV market, and they were putting cartoon stuff when we were kids up. Yep. And then the Attitude Era came along, and
when we were teenagers,
Ruthless Aggression era came along, and then things just kind of started to peter out, and like now they've just become so corporate and so vanilla and so kind of like run the same thing back, the same vanilla thing that we're just kind of like, well, there's no substance here. But AEW is just not that. Like, I know there's a lot of people are picking sides and they want to fucking wave a flag, and I don't give a shit, right? Like, who cares? But, like, to me, it's just, I don't know how you can watch WWE and think there's any kind of, like, enthralling, like, oh, man, bite my nails, what's going to happen next, right? There's none of that. All of that is gone, right? Like, and that's why I like AEW, because it's just... There's more guesswork. There's more advanced characteristics in the characters, right?
There's more attention to detail, like the Ruby Soho and Eddie Kingston point.
Right.
And I feel like the bread and butter story that WWE will always lean on is, can they coexist? Fuck, they're doing it right now with Kevin Owens and Big E. Can they coexist?
That's all they do.
Like, that's all they can do. Yeah. Anyhow, my pick for this match is going to be Malachi Black and Andrade, as I mentioned, but this is the reason why. I think we're going to get House of Black. I think Andrade is kind of out in no man's land. AEW is the king of put him in a faction. We already have the name House of Black. I think we're going to get a little bit of a partnership between Malachi Black and Andrade. And I think this is then going to be where Cody Rhodes says, hey, you motherfuckers hate me, right? Okay, you all hate me. Watch what I can do in the ring. Me and Pac are going to have a feud, and we're going to tear the house down. And I think Pac's going to get pissed that Cody lost the match, and then we're going to get Pac Cody Rhodes, and that's where we're going to get these 5-star matches, or potential 5-star matches out of Cody.
The House of Black thing is interesting if Andrade's there because it's not the direction I would have thought that thing's going to go. I was picturing the Flock,
the Blade.
Flock 2.0, if you will, which is not a terrible idea for the Malachi Black character, right? Like he feels like he would have a couple minions that he's fleecing, right? You know what I mean? Like he's a snake oil salesman. But yeah, I don't mind it. Those two guys,
because
Yeah,
well, I think we are going to build it out. This is me guessing here. I'm just guessing. Again, I don't read any of the Wade Kellers and all that stuff. I don't read it. This is what I'm guessing. I think we're going to get Malachi Black and Andrade as this two-headed monster that leads the House of Black. I think, in my opinion, Matt Hardy is flat soda. He's done. Like, this House of Hardy stuff, fucking throw it in the trash.
Matt Hardy is provolone cheese.
Yeah, we're done, right? So, with that being said, I think the House of Black might be getting Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. I think we might get...
That's great.
And then I also think we get a little Abaddon, right? Because she's just hanging out being crazy.
Luther
and Serpentico. Well, I mean, really.
You could fit him in there and make him less goofy,
but I think
it would work.
I think what we're going to do with Malachi Black and Andrade, the comparison that I have in my brain is when we did the corporate ministry, right? So, like, Undertaker was this, all king of darkness, but, like, Triple H was in there too, right? And, like, Triple H wasn't any spooky little demon, but him and Undertaker were working to beat the fuck out of Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I think we might get that like vibe of a corporate ministry with Andrade and Malachi Black. But that's just my opinion. All right, so let's move on now to the street fight. It's the Inner Circle. Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz taking on Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. Now, did you see Dan Lambert throw Chris Jericho through a table on Dynamite?
Loved it. I've got it right up behind us here. Lambert flexing. God. So this one I'm torn, right? They love the Inner Circle. They love the Inner Circle to, Hogan must pose. It's an AEW staple from day one. Literally, right? Like, so... nothing shocks me if Inner Circle stands over these fucks and waves at the crowd. But we have heard rumblings that, like, Jericho's got a shit ton of other stuff he's got to go do for a while. Maybe he's out. We're trying to build Men of the Year. I'm not shocked if they lose. So for that reason, I'm going to go with the Lambert team somehow pulls off this victory, and Jericho maybe is like, they fucking killed him, right? And then so maybe we get like a Santana and Ortiz versus Men of the Year coming out of that for Jericho's honor, maybe, right? Something like that.
Okay, great. I'm glad you went with that because you're wrong. It's going to be the Inner Circle, right? We finally disagree. You're not going to have Sammy Guevara, your TNT champion, lose a match.
Well, but he doesn't have to be involved in it.
But it's still, you can't have that. So it's going to be the Inner Circle.
You're thinking old school. You're thinking Bruce Prichard wrestling.
Well, and you know why? Because I go back to the Chris Jericho MJF feud. We did the 5 labors of Jericho, which was enthralling for the first 3 chapters, and you should have lost it.
And he should have retired. Should have went away, but you didn't.
But he didn't, and so now it's the Hogan must pose. Yep, I did.
So I was going to bring this up, but I changed my mind as I was going to bring it up. I was going to suggest that we had been making a loser of these picks do something.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to do that because I just think we should do this together. Well, no, I think we should just do this as a special event that folks maybe they donate to watch. But the loser was going to have to sit through and binge watch Off the Hook Extreme Catches with Eric Young, the fishing show with Eric Young. And so now I just think we should just do that.
We should just do
while
it.
Drinking and just like put that up for people to donate and watch. Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. But this is making me think like, that was a great idea. The loser should not have to do it. We should both do it together.
Now, Now, I think out of this match, I think this is where we might get Dan Lambert to go away for a while. He might get mad at Men of the Year. I think then we might see Junior Dos Santos be the star of this match, where he's like the breakout, like, wow, he could do stuff. And then you might get on Dynamite in 2 weeks, Junior Dos Santos, Jake Hager, right? We could still continue the feud.
I know what it is.
But then they're what?
Junior Dos Santos versus Shaq.
No. Shaq's wrestling Paul White. That's what's happening.
Shaq's going to wrestle Paul. God damn,
That
is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So here's what's going to all right, so sidebar for that. Paul White's going to like come back and like end up view and be like, hey guys, what's up? Remember me, Paul White? Everyone's going to be like, hey, great. Like, he's like, hey, Paul White. And everyone's going to be like, great, wonderful. And then somebody's going to be like, he's going to be like, hey man, don't make, right? And he's going to like put away somebody real quick, right? And he's going to be like, be like, see, I still got it. And then that's when he's going to get like the tap on the shoulder, or the music's going to hit and be like, oh, you say you still got it? And then.
Tim. Oh, you got my creative juices going.
Okay, here we go. T-Mac story time.
This is what happens.
Fucking love this. T-Mac story time. This is one of the best things in Spanish Announce Table.
I don't know the next pay-per-view because I haven't memorized like what the order of the paper is. No, good God, not an AEW.
Sin.
Christ, no.
AEW Sin.
It's not that. But
Hog Wild.
Let's say it's All Out. I think it's Double or Nothing. I think Double or Nothing is the next one, right?
Right.
I'm guessing here, right?
Yeah, they name them after casino things, right? So like All Out, the Buy-In, Puke in the Alleyway, right? Whatever.
Yeah. So 2 weeks before the next pay-per-view, Paul White is going to have a match on Dynamite that no one's going to give a shit about. It's a 3-on-1 match. He's going to beat up Serpentico, Luther, and Fuego del Sol, right? Just as like a fuck you to Fuego, maybe, right?
Yeah, he's going to throw him around.
Yeah. Paul White beats all three of them up. Ha ha ha. I'm so great.
No more BS.
Right. Guy comes running out on the microphone saying, no, you are not as good as you think you are. It's smart Mark Sterling. And if you remember, smart Mark Sterling represents Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill's best friend is Shaq. So smart Mark comes out and is like, no, we are tired of this old song and show. We do not want this, not at all. We have a challenge for you at the next pay-per-view. Paul White's like, well, who is it? He's like, you'll find out in time. So we don't know who it is. It's Paul White versus Mystery, right? Paul White at the pay-per-view walks out. Mark Sterling comes out. Jade Cargill walks out with them. And then people are like, uh-oh. It's not Jade Cargill, obviously, right? But like those two.
Oh, but we can flirt with that for a while. People be like, because people may not like necessarily not believe that. They'll be like, right, they're really trying to push Jade Cargill right now.
Right. And she can do the flexing. She can do the body, poses and all that stuff. And then the lights go out.
And the uncomfortableness, though, of Big Show in that moment be like, look, I'm not going to fucking fight a girl.
Right.
And she's like, bitch.
Yeah. Pushes him a little bit.
Like, I will fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And so lights go out. Lights come back on. Top of the ramp. Shaq is standing there like Shaq Fu. He walks down to the ramp. We get the match.
I think the ambulance pulls up because remember he disappeared out of the ambulance.
That would be cool. Yeah,
right.
That would be great. So yes.
Fucking Shaq crawling out like he's Godzilla coming out of this fucking ambulance, man.
Oh,
God.
And you could have and you could have Mark Sterling even say like, "This is where you're leaving. This is how your night ends." Dude. And the ambulance comes, and then Shaq comes out of it.
And to sidebar off of all of this, but still on the same subject. Why are we not getting more smart Mark Sterling? I know he's got the thing with Jade Cargill, but why is he not representing more people? This guy's good.
Oh, he's very good. He's in GCW. He represents Matt Cardona, So I like him. Yeah, more of him wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I would say, though, we need, like, all of our management – except for Leo Rush, but I think we might get a heel turn later down the road. But all our management are heels, right? So it's Vicky Guerrero, it's Dan Lambert, it's Mark Sterling, it's
we got no face managers.
We got no face managers.
We got no Miss Elizabeth.
Right, we need someone like that. That's what I would say. But all right, let's get back on track here. So going back to the Full Gear card, we get our next match, which is a Falls Count Anywhere. Christian Cage and Jurassic Express taking on the Super Elite. Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. With the caveat is we record on a Thursday night. tomorrow night, it's going to be Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Bobby Fish. Maybe something comes from that.
Yeah, that's where I feel like the Super Elite gets over. Bobby Fish helps them win. He's part of the Super Elite maybe, so that they can eventually split away and have this like Undisputed Era versus Young Bucks kind of thing. Because like, look, Jungle Boy is over as can get.
The man.
Christian, cool, but like they can take a loss and it's not going to hurt anything. If the Super Elite takes a loss right now, it makes them look less credible up against Adam Page, who needs to overcome everything. Right? The storyline dictates it. He needs to have the fucking stack decked against, or the deck stacked against him, and overcome it even when he's fucking not confident in himself. So yeah, I'm picking Super Elite because Bobby Fish comes in, and now he's part of the Super Elite for a while.
Well, I think this becomes the Young Bucks looking at Adam Cole and like, hey man,
who's your fucking guy?
But like, it was just going to be the three of us going to dinner. What's the extra chair? And then Bobby Fish is like, hey guys, what's up? And then Adam Cole's like, I don't understand why you guys have a beef with this guy.
Is when they do this, like in that match, they've got him like, or next time Bobby Fish is around, they're doing that thing and they go to kiss him, and then Bobby Fish like tries to jump into it, and it's like all awkward because there's like not a space for him.
Yeah,
and he just ruins that. Like, God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, and then again, breaking kayfabe here just for a quick moment. It's being reported Kyle O'Reilly's contract is up at the end of the month. We get Undisputed Era.
Friend of the show, Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes.
What would they call themselves since they can't be the Undisputed Era? They're going to be something era, right? Mm-hmm. Or Undisputed something.
Undefeated? No, because they'd eventually lose. But something, yeah, they would do something.
Something. They got to be something era.
This is then where Kenny Omega transitions out of the title picture, right? Because it can't just be him and Hangman again, right? Because we got a match coming up between Bryan Danielson and Miro, who gets the next shot. So then you get Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus the Undisputed Era.
And speaking of heel managers, we got the return of the coup de grace, the best of the best.
Oh, let's get to that when the match comes, though. Yes. Yeah. Don Callis, which I don't want to forget this point because I may forget this point. What a fucking idiot. And also, how awesome. This fucking knuckle-dragging idiot wore a fake mustache and goatee underneath a mask. He was wearing a mask as the camera guy takes off the mask and he's wearing a fake
That's
mustache.
Don Callis. That's Don Callis.
I laughed for a solid minute when it dawned on me what fucking idiot thing he did there. He had to wear. He's wearing a mask.
And he just sells it all out, right? He's like, yeah, look at me. Smartest guy in the world.
Oh, it's great.
Don Callis is one of my favorites right now. It's like Don Callis, Matt Cardona, right? When we're talking like heels and shit. God damn it. Love it.
They're great. Well,
love it.
Speaking of great heels, let's get into our next match. We have Darby Allen taking on MJF. Are we going to see MJF lose legit?
God, I hope not. I really hope not. I need personally, for my own sake, MJF to win this. I need it. I want AEW to hear this. I need MJF to win this.
Well, I mean,
I'm picking him. MJF.
All right, you wouldn't
God
be,
damn it, that's wrong.
No, because here's the thing that you got to consider, what we just talked about. At the last pay-per-view, again, it was under shady conditions because Jericho hit him with the Judas effect, which he shouldn't have. That was illegal, right? But he still did it. MJF lost. So you can have MJF lose back-to-back pay-per-views?
I think they might view him as that strong. Like, look, he's going to get the heat anytime he goes out there.
Yeah. But they're positioning these four pillars, right? Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allen, MJF.
Yeah, that's not a mistake. They're using that term specifically.
Mm-hmm. So
he wins. MJF wins because he's better than you, and you know it.
Well,
you know it. You know it. You know it.
Hold on, let's talk it out a little bit. Let's talk it out, Alabama.
You fucking know.
Because I said it's Darby Allen
You want a
versus
scarf?
MJF. Well, hold on. It's Darby Allen versus MJF, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it has on the
fucking Darby Allen. He's one of the pillars also.
Hold on. I didn't say it most likely, it doesn't say it here, but it's most likely Darby Allen with Sting and MJF with Wardlow, and Wardlow is going to have his accountability buddy Shawn Spears. I think we might see Wardlow coming out of this and cost MJF the match.
What if we see Sting cost Darby Allen? That's not gonna happen. Come on. That would be too cool. All right, so you're right. Wardlow costs MJF the match. He beats the shit out of Shawn Spears.
And then flexes.
Like murders him. The cops actually get called from somebody in the arena. And MJF's like, what the fuck, dude? Doesn't give a shit about Shawn Spears. Like, look at the mess you made. And then fucking takes one to the face. And
Darby Allen hits the coffin drop and wins.
God
and then,
damn it.
And you know why I also think this may happen? As I mentioned, on Dynamite, there was just a random match as the go-home show to Full Gear where Wardlow just beat the fuck out of Yuta, right? Just
beat the shit out of him.
Why did that happen?
Somebody else beat the shit out of Yuta too, didn't it? It was Moxley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like,
Yuta stole somebody's parking space or something? Why's he got to give her?
Possibly. But going back to my point, why was that match there on the go-home show to Full Gear?
Make you think about Wardlow, and he's a beast.
And
remember
then
that
there
he
you go.
destroys people.
He's going to get mad that MJF is
out through their throat.
I bet you MJF says do something Sting, and Wardlow's like, that was my hero as a kid. Like, I'm fucking drawing the line right here. No, I'm done. I've already beat him up once. I'm not doing it again. That's when Shawn Spears pushes him. Is like, he beats the fuck out of Shawn Spears, then costs MJF the match.
So let's play this scenario out. Walk down this hypothetical highway with me. We don't get a Sting heel turn. What we start seeing is Darby Allen having to go to extreme lengths to put away MJF and Wardlow. And he starts doing a quick little fucking whatever, and Sting's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? You can't twist his fucking titty. Like, stop. Right? And keeps like trying to like, hey, man, don't do that. Do it right. And then at some point, Darby Allen's like, fuck you, bitch, and gives him the Kansas City cunt punt. And MJF sneaks in and gets the victory or whatever. And then we get Darby Allen like, you bitch. Fuck you. Like, it's your fault. And Sting's like, fuck you. I was trying to keep you straight. And then we get a Darby Allen heel turn.
Yeah.
He's kind of stale.
Right. Now, I would switch this with one little thing here. This is what I would do. I like that idea, except for I would have Darby Allen doing all the weird, heel tactics. Sting calls him out on it.
The taint.
Right. But Sting calls him out on it. And Sting's like, you know what? Fine, I'm done. And then he hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, leaves Darby laying. MJF
Darby's
crawls,
like poking his chest. And MJF just steals the and
then MJF goes and puts his finger over Darby Allen 1, 2, 3.
Wardlow even drags him on him. It's Wardlow who has to drag him after Sting dropped him because Darby Allen was like just hitting him with a fucking skateboard over and over again. So we were uncomfortable, right? And then Sting drops him, Wardlow drags him, and then Wardlow gets like, bitch, I fucking made you.
And so we get two feuds out of that, right? Because MJF Wardlow and Sting Darby Allen. I like that. All right, let's get back into the matches here in our predictions. AEW Tag Team Championships. The Lucha Bros, the AEW Tag Team Champions, taking on the AAA Tag Team Champions, FTR. This one's hard. I don't know where we're going on this one. Who do you got?
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I feel like... Is the AEW titles are on the line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Lucha Bros come away. I don't think they're going to take them off him. I don't think they're going to have them hold like double tag team titles. So
they were. Remember? Oh, you're saying FTR is not going to hold double?
Right.
Oh, gotcha. Because Lucha Bros were. That's what I was saying.
Right. Yeah, I can see Lucha Bros. Are both titles on the line?
I think it's just AEW.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I got Lucha Bros because
I
think
FTR wins and they don't get the title somehow. One of those victories, right?
DQ. Yeah, they get disqualified.
Like yeah,
because I think we pivoted early because we want to do the street fight and Dan Lambert and American Top Team. But I still think the plans are Santana Ortiz versus the Lucha Bros. We hinted at it for a little bit, and then now we've got Santana and Ortiz coming back to the inner circle. So I got Lucha Bros for that reason. Yeah, I got Lucha Bros winning. Next pay-per-view, Lucha Bros, Santana and Ortiz.
Love it.
All right, here we go. Now,
fucking here for it, Tom.
Well, so now let's close the loop on this here. As I mentioned in the pre-show, we're going to have Thunder Rosa standing victorious with her hand held high. Then later in the show, we get the AEW Women's Championship match, Britt Baker versus Tay Conti. We're getting Britt Baker winning. And
Britt
we're
Baker
getting
wins.
Yeah, we're getting Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker, collision course.
Look, she's going to put over Tay Conti. Tay Conti's going to look like $1 million, but she's going to get the fucking, what do we call it? The lockjaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and what's her ass? Blown out knee's going to cost her the match.
Jamie Hayter.
No, the other one.
Oh, Rebel.
She's going to
Rebel's going to cost her the. Okay.
Yeah. Because I think it's going to be Rebel hits her with a crutch. Anna Jay comes out to take out Rebel, but that hurt Tay Conti. Britt Baker gets the victory on that, right? Because Tay Conti could beat her fucking ass if it was real, like if it was a legit fight. But anyhow, now let's get into some more fun. Man, this is a stat card. Now we're going to be talking about it. CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
I'm not entirely convinced that this isn't the time CM Punk loses. I think he might feel like, hey, this is the guy I want to put over.
I mean, I hope so, because
am I just hoping too hard? CM Punk.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right, I'm making my pick. Eddie Kingston, God damn it.
You know what? Fucking
I'm going all in.
I'm going Eddie Kingston. Yeah, I'm going Eddie Kingston. He can't be the face of the company if he keeps losing the matches. Because here's the thing. The whole basis of the feud again is off of Eddie Kingston losing to Bryan Danielson. So you can't then have him lose again to CM Punk.
Here's what I'm talking about for the people when we say, why are you still watching WWE and what we talk about with storylines. I fully know. We've been doing this a long time. This is a completely made up fucking fake thing. Right? Fake, I know is the wrong term, but scripted storyline we're here. I want nothing more in my life than for Eddie Kingston to win this goddamn match. You know what I mean? And we just don't get that in WWE anymore. There's nothing where I'm I need Eddie Kingston to win this match.
Yep. I need him to. I need him.
I fucking need it. I want to write him a letter of encouragement. I need Eddie Kingston to win this match. I want him to know I'm behind you. Right?
Yes.
I'm here for you. It. I'm going to be sending you all the vibes. The Mad
This
King.
is going to, you know what this is going to turn into for our show? This is the John Cena heel turn. Every pay-per-view. Every pay-per-view, though. And then Eddie Kingston is the champion. Yeah, it's going to be that every pay-per-view.
Fuck.
But good. No, fuck it. We stand behind this. Eddie Kingston.
He should win this match. Look, Punk at this point can lose a match, I feel like. And it could help spurn this, okay, I'm gone away from the, hey, everybody, appreciate you loving me now. Oh, fuck, wait a minute. Time to get serious.
And also, AEW is not against the idea of having multiple moments in one show, right? Remember the last one? It was Adam Cole, but then it was right to Bryan Danielson. So, again, we'll get to the main event and who we think is going to win that. That might be a moment. So that doesn't mean underneath the card, we can't have more moments. And I think this is going to be that moment. Eddie Kingston.
Oh, the shock. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
And that's where I feel I know these guys, we just talk they may have actual beef, but I feel CM Punk I felt he's being honest in the hey, I'm here to wrestle, give exposure to up and coming guys. And at some point, it sounded like that was a true story. He believed in Eddie Kingston at some point. And I think we've all been feeling Eddie Kingston is realizing some of the potential Eddie Kingston has had his whole career. So maybe we are getting that moment.
We have to get Eddie Kingston to win. You're not going to, let's break kayfabe here. How dumb, promotionally speaking, would it be to have Eddie Kingston release his Players Tribune article where we are like, this is the guy that I love more than anyone in pro wrestling, and then have him lose.
Didn't Cena lose to The Rock?
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah.
But that was that storyline, right? Like, all of it was like, I've got to do this.
Well, no, that was the second one.
Oh, that was the second one. That's right.
And that's when he won.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So Eddie Kingston.
It's gotta fucking be Eddie Kingston. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to like fucking be mad if it isn't.
Eddie Kingston. Right?
Right.
Eddie Kingston.
Right. Yeah.
Eddie Kingston. Okay.
Eddie Kingston.
Right. Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the next match. AEW Championship Eliminator Tournament Finals. Bryan Danielson taking on late replacement, who did earn his way in by beating Orange Cassidy. God's maybe favorite champion?
God's Forsaken champion.
God's Forsaken champion.
Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan wins this, man. I think we're going to dig deeper. Like, again, this just fits into this recent iteration of the Miro character where he's like looking at his hands like, what are you doing to me, God, right? Like losing to a guy like Daniel Bryanson in his mind where he's bigger, stronger, more aggressive, more alpha male, more, you know what I mean? Like all of that is going to send him off the deep end even worse, right? And Daniel Bryan is on this like fucking superstar trajectory, so I don't see how it could be anything but, albeit I wouldn't be surprised if the opposite results, but I'm picking Bryan Danielson, excuse me.
Brian. Who is writing Miro's promos? Did you catch what happened on this Wednesday?
I think it's Miro.
Where he said to Bryan Danielson, say goodbye to your wife so I can go say hello to mine? Fucking Christ.
I think it's him. Dude, I think it's him.
That's psychotic.
I think he may be like working with folks and like, hey, I'm going to say this, and somebody may be like, hey, if you said this instead of that, and he's like, oh yeah, let me fucking write that down. Let me practice that. Like, I mean, I'm sure that can happen. I mean, we don't know, right? That's really behind the curtain. That's behind some closed doors. But like, you know, I can see that happening. But I feel like this is coming from him. I think AEW is kind of championing themselves being that way, right? Like, what do you want to make this?
Mm-hmm. It's incredible. His promos are must-see TV.
Next level.
Yeah. I love them so much.
You legit like, oh, we're dealing with a psychopath here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm scared. This makes me feel uncomfortable. With that being said, so Bryan Danielson wins the match. Now, I said last week.
A neck hold, right? Some kind of neck hold that makes him fucking tap because he's worried about his neck.
Right, and yeah. But I'm thinking this, right? So Bryan Danielson wins the match. That would make you think, okay, so we're going to go Bryan Danielson. So let's go right into the main event. So that would make you think then Bryan Danielson's taking on the winner between Kenny Omega champion and challenger Hangman Adam Page. So I ask you, Hangman Adam Page's first feud is with ultra babyface Bryan Danielson.
I don't think he's necessarily been ultra babyface. He has come in and done babyface things, but like his attitude hasn't necessarily been like, oh, I'm doing this for the fans. It's been like, I'm doing this to kick the shit out of people and show that I can still kick the shit out of people and that they've stopped me from kicking the shit out of people for years. I could see that turn. Now, what I could see is Bryan Danielson having won, interjecting himself in that match and somehow costing Hangman, and Kenny Omega wins.
So
maybe inadvertently,
right? Well, so let's revisit some of AEW's history here. The match that they went with for the main event of their biggest show at Arthur Ashe Stadium was Kenny Omega, Daniel Bryan, and that ended in a draw, right? So we've got to get that payoff somewhere down the line. Now we can keep Bryan Danielson babyface. We can still dig into the agony and self-destruction of Hangman Adam Page, and then Kenny Omega is wearing even worse suits than Seth Rollins next week on Dynamite. Or Hangman Adam Page wins, I alluded to this last week. Bryan Danielson becomes this, I am a wrestling god. Hangman becomes intimidated by that, and that's our story. Can I overcome the greatest wrestler of all time? I just beat Kenny Omega, and now this new task is much harder than the last one.
So the whole thing with not having, like, if we don't have Hangman Adam Page win this title here, is like we already did the thing where we thought Hangman Adam Page was like destined to win the title, and he didn't. So it would make the third one come around be like, okay, but really, are we doing this again? So I just feel like I'm picking it. Page wins this.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm getting too far into the weeds. We could still do a triple threat at the next one, right? Kenny Omega could be like, no, Don Callis put in the contract that I get a rematch instantly. I don't care about Bryan Danielson.
Or what I said, Bryan Danielson comes in, gets interjected, like somehow whatever happens, Hangman Adam Page wins, and then Omega's like, well, that's your fault. And he's like, well, if it's my fault, then fight me. And then Adam Page is sitting there like, holy shit, I just want to have a beer, guys, to celebrate my victory. You guys are ruining it. And then he gets hit, and he's like, all right, well, fuck, right? And then he starts fighting, and then we got a triple threat.
Yeah, we could do that. Because, again, we haven't done too many triple threats in AEW.
Yeah.
At least not that I can think of.
Especially
I think the
not
last
at that main event level and stuff.
Yeah, the last one that I can recall was 2 pay-per-views ago when it was Pac, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega, and that was great. So, yeah, that could happen. I feel also, as we kind of dig into these picks here, I feel like the crowd's going to riot if Hangman doesn't win.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, I think you would disappoint the fans at this point.
You would get the dud reaction of the death match between Kenny Omega and
you do have a smart
John
crowd
Moxley
with AEW, and you do have a hardcore crowd. And so, like, I think we would be like, I get it. I get what you're trying to do, but like we didn't want that now. Like we didn't want it the first time, but we were like, you got us.
And Tony Khan is plugged into the IWC. Hangman Adam Page.
Riding on a white horse, baby.
If he rides in on a white horse,
then he wins.
I will freak the fuck out.
Then you know he wins.
Yep.
God, I love this fucking card. I love this company, Tom.
It's the best. It's the best thing going.
I'm excited, man.
I will say this too. Jonathan Snowden on Twitter. Follow him. He's a good follow. He said AEW, and he's a wrestling historian. He's written many books about mixed martial arts and pro wrestling. He said, and he has some clout in his opinions, that AEW has been the best wrestling promotion in the last 20 years. Like, hands down.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. Now, listen, I mean, like, the only real options, again, from an American television watching perspective, has been WWE. We've had TNA and Impact Wrestling.
But he's including the Bullet Club's rise in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Like,
I would agree. I mean,
this is awesome.
It is, yeah. It's so great. Awesome. It's captured contemporary pop culture. It is like it's got something for everyone. I know when WWE says we got something for everyone, like AEW actually lives that, right? Like they've got brawling, they've got the flips and shit, they've got mat-based techniques, like, and they do it in a way that like it's not just like, see, we have it, 2 minutes, move on, right? Like they actually feature stuff. It shows they are trying to spread love to young up and comers and expose them. They've shown that they care about their people behind the stage. They can handle legends coming. Like so many things that they just feel so different, so unique that I would agree with that. Like nothing has felt like a movement, like a party. Like this at all in the last 20 years.
AEW, and I'm going to be gushing like a little schoolgirl here, but AEW feels like right now in 2021, as we close out the year, it feels like if you were to equate this to music, it's the band where you have the CD and you're just asking your friends for 2 songs. Let me just play 2 songs off of this CD, and I guarantee you're going to fucking love it.
This band.
And they're like, okay, but I keep hearing the name, but I don't really know. And like the friends are apprehensive, but they're like, I heard it's okay. And then they give the shot to the CD, and they're like, holy shit, this is great. And then boom, it catches on fire. And then we hate it because then it got too big. But right now, it's that CD you're walking around school with, like, just listen to this fucking one song. I swear to God, if you just listen to it, you're going to love it.
Reference. Walking around school with a CD.
Do you remember?
Listen,
You know what I'm
I
talking
remember. I fucking remember. I remember when CDs first came out. All right, I'm a little older than you are, man. I remember.
I had cassettes.
Oh,
I had the Space Jam cassette. That's the best cassette I ever owned. Space Jam soundtrack. Fuck around and find out. But yeah, no, this
discs. All right,
but this just feels like you just want to like I gush about this every opportunity I can. When, like today, I went to a company outing and someone brought up, hey, Thomas does a podcast. I go, yeah. And they're like, what is it about? It's like pro wrestling. Oh, yeah. So John Cena's still wrestling? I go, no. And fuck him. What you need to know is AEW. And I just went into all AEW stuff. And then I was like, okay, I got to calm down because everyone's staring at me. But like, that's how I feel. I'm a fucking lunatic for it. It's so goddamn good.
It's so much better than anything else going right now. We love it. That's why we're so excited for Full Gear. That's why we're excited for you to use hashtag Tweet the Table when you're watching Full Gear. Tell us what you thought. So next week when we're here, we're going to tell everybody what you thought about it. Sounds pretty simple, right? In the meantime, check us out on YouTube. Check us out on SpanishAnnounceTable.net for all the links, all the social media, the donate buttons, the merch stuff, all you want. And until then, man, just, I don't know, Tom, got any parting words?
Eddie Kingston's got to win.
He does have to win.
The Spanish Announce Table.